Subject line A/B testing for small lists. A creator's statistically sane guide. You don't need 10,000 subscribers to test subject lines. You need the right split, the right sample size, and the discipline to test one variable at a time. Every article about subject line testing assumes you're sitting on a list of 50,000 people, splitting it into buckets of 10,000, and letting the math sort itself out overnight. That's not your list. You have 340 subscribers or 900, or maybe you just crossed 1,200, and you're proud of it. Standard A/B advice, applied literally at that size, will lie to you. A 3-point gap between two subject lines sent to 20 people each isn't a signal, it's a coin flip wearing a lab coat. That doesn't mean testing is pointless for small lists. It means you need a different playbook, built around batching results over multiple sends, picking splits that actually produce readable numbers, and changing one thing at a time instead of chasing a vibe. Why the standard A/B advice breaks at small scale. Most email platform guides tell you to test on a small percentage of your list, find the winner, then blast the rest with it. That works when a big list can sacrifice a slice for testing and still have plenty left over. 10% of 200,000 subscribers is still 20,000 people, a sample size that would make a statistician nod approvingly. Take 10% of a 400-person list, though, and you've got two groups of 20, where whether 3 or 4 people open an email is mostly noise about who happened to glance at their phone, not a real reaction to your subject line. That's the trap. Small list creators copy big list mechanics, small test group, quick decision, blast the winner, without the big list sample size that makes those mechanics valid. The fix isn't to give up on testing, it's to flip the model. Test your entire list every time, alternating which subject line style you use, and look for patterns that repeat across several sends, rather than trusting any single result in isolation. The batching method turns 6 sends into one real experiment. Here's the practical version. Instead of splitting one email into A/B halves, split your sending calendar. Decide on the one variable you're testing, say, curiosity-driven. I made a mistake with my last launch. Versus clarity-driven. New template. 12 Instagram carousel layouts. And alternate it across your next 6-8 regular sends to your full list. Every send stays full list, so you're not diluting your audience. And after 6 rounds, you've got 6 data points on the same question instead of one noisy guess. This works because creators send more often than they think. A weekly newsletter, a product update, a restock, a webinar reminder. And each one is a free chance to log a result. You're sending the email anyway. You're just being deliberate about the subject line pattern and writing down what happened. Look at that pattern. Curiosity lands between 23, 8% and 26. 7% across 3 sends. Clarity lands between 21, 0% and 21, 9%. No single number here would convince anyone. But with 0 overlap across 6 sends, you've got a real finding. For this audience, curiosity beats clarity by a consistent 2-4 points. That's worth changing your default over, and it only exists because the test was batched instead of single shot. Pick a split that matches your list size. If your email tool does support true within-send A/B splits, use that method for the variable you're most confident matters, and combine it with batching for everything else. The split ratio matters more at small scale than people realize. Under 300, skip within-send splits. Batch every send to your full list across 6+ sends, 300 to 1000. Use a 50-50 split, only for big effect variables. Emoji versus none. Otherwise batch 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 50 splits work for most single variable tests, but confirm across 3-4 sends, 5,000 plus. Standard A/B mechanics. Test on a slice, send winner to the rest, work as intended, any size. Never test more than one variable per send. Always log raw opens, not just percentages. The one variable rule, and why it's the whole game. The single biggest mistake in small list testing isn't sample size. It's testing 5 things at once and then declaring a winner. If subject line A is short, uses an emoji, and asks a question, while subject line B is long, has no emoji, and makes a statement, and a wins, you've learned nothing reusable. Was it the length? The emoji? The question format? You genuinely don't know. Pick one axis per round. Length, emoji presence, question versus statement. Personalization. Hey name versus generic. Or number-driven versus descriptive. 3 things I learned versus what I learned this week. Run it across your batch of sends, log the result, then move to the next variable. Keep a subject line log, a spreadsheet with columns for date, subject line, variable tested, list size, opens, and open rate turns scattered guesses into an actual playbook. After 3 months, it tells you, in your own audience's words, what gets opened. Reading results without fooling yourself. Percentages lie at small scale because they hide how few people the gap actually represents. Subject line A at 30% open rate on 40 recipients versus subject line B at 25% on 40 recipients sounds decisive. Until you notice it's 12 opens versus 10, a difference of exactly 2 people. 2 people opening or not, out of 80, is well within random chance. Someone was mid-commute, someone's phone died. Before declaring a winner, ask, would this survive if 2 people on the losing side had opened the email anyway? If yes, you don't have a result. You have a hypothesis worth testing again. A useful rule of thumb. Don't trust a single send gap smaller than 8 to 10 percentage points. And confirm it with a second batch before changing your default. Patterns holding across 3+ independent sends are the ones worth building a habit around. Where testing fits into actually making money. Worth zooming out. Subject line testing is a means, not an end. Open rate matters because it's the first domino. An unopened email can't drive a click, and a click that never happens can't turn into a sale of your ebook, your coaching call, or your membership. If you're running these tests through store.fan's broadcast tool, every send already goes to your real customer list, so every test doubles as a revenue opportunity. No such thing as a wasted send when the email itself is promoting a product. That's a real edge small lists have over the theoretical 20,000 person test group. Every recipient in your experiment is also a potential buyer today. If you haven't connected your list to a store yet, that's the gap worth fixing first. A subject line that wins your test but points to a slow, confusing checkout is a wasted improvement. If you're deciding where to send that traffic, a live example store shows what a finished setup looks like end to end. A subject line test on 40 people isn't useless. It's just not a verdict. Treat it as one data point in a pattern, not the pattern itself. Putting it together. A 2-month testing plan. Week 1-2. Pick one variable. Curiosity versus clarity is a strong default. Alternate it across your next 3 full list sends. Week 3. Log opens and raw counts for all 3 sends. Note any pattern forming. Week 4-6. Run 3 more alternating sends to confirm or contradict the early pattern. Week 7. If the pattern held across all 6, adopt the winning style as default and move to the next variable. Week 8 onward. Repeat with a new variable, building a running log of what works for your audience. None of this needs special software or a data science degree, just a spreadsheet, patience across a couple of sending cycles, and the discipline to isolate one variable at a time. If you're still setting up your email list and storefront together, now's a good time to create your store and start collecting subscribers to test on. Compare the plans to see what's included at each tier, and browse the blog for more guides on turning your list into actual revenue, not just open rates on a dashboard. Key takeaways. Below roughly 1,000 subscribers, a single send rarely gives you a statistically meaningful subject line winner. You need to batch results across several sends, track raw open counts, not just percentages. A clear winner at 24% versus 19% open rate can be 3 opens away from a tie on a small list. Test 1 variable per send. Length, curiosity versus clarity, emoji versus none, personalization versus generic. Never all 4 at once. A 50-50 split on your full list, not a small subset, gives you the most data per send when your list is already modest. Keep a running subject line log across months. Patterns that hold across 5-6 sends are far more trustworthy than one lucky email. Start your creator store free at store.fan.